Publicly owned Ethiopian Airlines has been flying for over 70 years. The airline says despite expanding its fleet, it cannot satisfy the aviation demand in Africa. According to the African Union, African companies only have 20% of the market. Ethiopian Airlines Chief Executive Officer says the firm is willing to help South African Airlines to keep African players in the skies.
We want South African Airways also to support us in keeping African aviation by Africans for Africans. I don't mean to close doors for other airlines, but at least to maintain our fair market share. 50-50 will be a good market share, but we are only 20%. Because of that, we really want to help other African countries, sister countries, to develop their national carrier so that put together, our muscles together, we can compete with the rest of the world.
Ethiopian Airlines has stakes in the national airlines of Chad, Togo, Malawi and Mozambique. The CEO says it is a risky industry.
This business is very, very sensitive. So, you know, in good time, the margin is around 3 to 5%. Very small. So if you make small mistake, then it goes. It's wiped. So we want to make sure that the right business model is being followed.
South African Airlines is not the only African airline struggling to stay in the sky. In Kenya, the parliament has approved the renationalization of Kenya Airways, the national carrier. The loss-making airline was privatized 23 years ago. It says it was forced to restructure its $2 billion debt in 2017 after its expansion plan failed to attract customers. African airline companies say business is low partly because accessing African markets is tough. They have to grapple with challenges like strict licensing requirements, weak infrastructure and high ticket prices. They say that drags income down.
Most African states have not liberalized their skies. You know, you cannot have additional frequencies to a destination. It is a challenge to get things like fifth freedoms from one country, to the other. It is quite a challenge for you to, increase your frequency, for example, to some X destination, irrespective of the fact that you have fleet and all those. And then, of course, the last one could be weak infrastructure in terms of most African airports are not very developed. We have murrammed runways where big planes cannot land.
The African Union hopes to ease this through the Single African Air Transport Market Agreement signed in 2018. But it says member states have been slow to implement it so far. Ethiopian Airlines says the only way to achieve this continental goal is for African carriers to support each other to stay in the sky. Coletta Wanjohi, SABC News, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.